Making a drink for what? Oh, do I go? Yeah. Hi, my name is Riley, and this is The Other Place in Clive. I'll be making a non-alcoholic strawberry lemonade in our OP Buccaneer. Do I need to say what I'm doing? Strawberry grenadine, some lemonade, shake it up. Strawberry lemonade. Then we have our OP Buccaneer. This is a staple here at the OP, probably one of our most popular drinks. It's gonna be a little bit of Captain, a little bit of Amaretto, a little bit of Malibu, and then we'll do pineapple juice and cranberry juice. There you go. Cheers.
We're going on everything.
All right. Are you sure? Something
not,
feels wrong.
I know, it is weird. Our production guy had to take the day off for whatever reason.
All of our producers.
All of our producers are gone.
All the one producers.
They
All right.
all quit.
So what is
quit.
the soup of the day?
Haha.
Soup of the day is Buccaneer, right?
Yep.
Wait,
so. Is
we
that what she made
didn't
for you?
leave you out, right? Did you not want one?
No, I work tonight. So
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
She's
that's
technically
fair.
not allowed.
Oh, that's
Not technically, I am not allowed.
Oh.
She's
So
figuratively not allowed.
I'm not allowed. So.
if they find out. I'm sorry.
Okay, so yeah, we got Buccaneers, and then what did you have again? It was like strawberry lemonade.
I had an
Something.
NA strawberry lemonade with a little bit of Red Bull in it.
Yeah.
She made this for me because I am not participating in any alcohol consumption.
I am.
As of right
Alcoholic.
now.
As of right, yeah. Haley is.
I am
She
today.
got here
I
immediately
don't
was like,
usually,
I'm
but-
getting drunk
Cheers.
today.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To
That's
poor
fair.
people.
I always do this like awkward thing. Cheers.
All right, and then who do we have on today?
My name is Catherine.
Best friend.
I am. Well, okay. Jaydn is my best friend. I am Jaydn's best friend. I don't
liked
know
it the
if
other
he's
way.
mine. But I am Jaydn's best friend.
Yeah. And we've worked together for 9 years.
Oh my gosh.
Been friends for 6.
Yeah. It took a little bit.
It took a little bit.
Best friends for 3, I think. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
Definitely. And we are at the other place in Clive, the OP, formerly known as. Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to talk about here a little bit?
What about here?
I don't know.
So the OP has been here since July of, is it 2012?
Something like that, because I started in 15 and it had been open for 3 years at that point.
Okay, so 2012. It was Boston's before, I believe.
Yeah.
The OP originated in Cedar Falls. Our owner he played for UNI. So then it was his dad that started it. I think I really
so.
need to be better about the history, but I think it was his dad. So there's 5 locations in the Kansas City area right now, and then 5 in Iowa still that he owns.
And they
4 or 5.
also own, what was the, didn't they have a Mexican restaurant too that they owned?
I don't think it was.
Like Peppers or something? Yeah.
Is it? I don't know.
I think
Is
it's
it Mexican?
Peppers. I don't know.
I've never been there.
I haven't either. Shit.
I don't think it's Mexican. I don't know.
It's so funny because people always even when I'm serving and bartending here, people always ask me all these questions, and I'm like, I should know that. I've been here almost a fucking decade.
And yeah,
I just don't.
I should know. But
I just don't know it.
Just start making it up.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to.
Does it
the
ever
owner's
feel
actually my dad.
He's my father.
Does it ever feel crazy that you've worked here for 10 years? Like, has the years gone by super quickly?
It's funny because sometimes, if I'm talking to, another server and bartender, I feel like she's probably been here 5 or 6 years, and I'll start talking about someone that I just assume she knows, and she's like, I have no clue who you're talking about. So I'm like, maybe that was year 2 or 3 before she got here. So
Yeah.
I feel like that it kind of does start running together. I feel like we've just been through there's some people like that have been here forever. We've gone through a few different managers, but
I feel like it felt like I was
There's
here.
like a handful of us that have been here the whole time.
Yeah.
Our GM was, I think, our GM at this location, she was the first person ever hired at this location. So she's been here.
And she was a server, right?
She started as a server, made her way up. I don't know if she actually ever was strictly a bartender, but then she pretty quickly became an assistant manager. So there's a handful of us that have kind of been here.
Yeah, how many?
And we're all best friends.
Yeah, it's true. We've traveled together.
We do. Jaden and I travel together. He's a liability on travels, but it's okay. That is, I think the first day he came to Vegas with us a few years ago, we all went out there, and it was his birthday weekend. So I was like, I'm going to invite Jaden. And I think day one we lost him 5 times. So I was like, you're giving me your location right now.
Yeah.
And so now he's not allowed to come on any vacation with our group of friends unless everyone in the group has his location, so we know where he is.
And it's gotten so bad now that they make me swallow an AirTag too.
Yeah. So yeah.
Just in case I lose my phone.
Yeah.
Then I had to swallow the AirTag so that they can find me.
We definitely have a good group of people here. I think just people that we've become super, super close with.
Oh,
and
yeah.
We have our like smaller group of people that we've been here a while. Jaden was just in my wedding a couple months ago, so
sure
he's
was.
really made it a long way.
She's fresh.
He did not,
freshly married.
He did not piss me off one time that day. It was a big day for Jaden.
And I almost fucked it up too in the wedding.
When?
Because we didn't know that the kids, the children weren't going to come out through the thing.
My nephews, yeah.
And
they slept.
And you were very specific, like, no one is allowed to see me until I walk down the aisle.
I wanted my moment.
And you had your moment,
No,
but
it's fine.
I me and Shane started opening up the door, and then I just hear Kat's voice from behind the curtain. The kids aren't coming out. And I just was like, oh shit. And I was like,
so the ring bearers were supposed to come out, but their dad and my brother-in-law had to walk them down because one of them was sleeping, and they were a little nervous.
Yeah.
It's fair. People were staring at them.
Yeah.
They're little kids. They don't know.
They did a great job.
They did do a good job.
Cutest ones in the wedding party.
And they don't even cry.
Oh, God.
I have a video of her saying that when your nephew is first born.
Yeah, because he never cried. He was just a great baby. And now he's 4. He just turned 4, so.
That is crazy.
I know.
Crazy to think about.
Well, speaking of babies and crying, how many people call in here?
We have a couple repeat offenders, maybe. I don't know. I don't think it's horrible. I feel like if people do call in, it's the same people. Most of the time it's legitimate reasons or excuses. But I don't think our call-ins are horrible. Most people show up to work. Thing is, if you come to work at the OP and you show up to work, you're going to walk out with money. Like, it's kind of a given.
Yeah.
We're always busy. We have a really good clientele, really good group of regulars on the bar and the restaurant side. Like, we have servers that have regulars just like the bartenders do. So people I think have kind of figured out that as long as they show up to work and do their job, they're going to walk out with a good amount of money every night. So,
well, and I've always said too that the location here is like perfect because we've got the
prime.
hospitals all around us. There's Waukee is just right down the road. There's a whole neighborhood that lives right back behind here. And so and we're on this really busy road.
Yep. We're always busy. We have our kind of lulls.
Like throughout the season.
Beginning of summer, I feel like it's a little slow. I feel like January right after the new year is slow for a couple years, couple weeks. But other than that, we're busy. We're a big spot for football and sports all year round. So we don't really have like a dead time. We're just always busy.
Well, it definitely helps too that that our owner did play professional football also.
Yes.
So people, that was when we were talking about before, I know the owner. Like that happens here so much because people will come in and be like, oh, well, I used to go to this old restaurant, or I used to work for his parents or whatever. And then they'll be like, or I watched him play football in the 80s. And it's like, I don't care, dude.
Yeah. We get a lot of UNI alumni for sure. They I think a lot of them, when they move down here, this is just a familiar place for them. So they come in because that's where everything started, was at UNI in Cedar Falls and the OP that was on the hill. I remember my older sister went to UNI, so I had many drunken nights there on the hill. And before I even moved to Des Moines, we were going to the OP at 1 a.m. to get pizza. So I think it's just a familiar place for a lot of people. So I think that's part of the reason why we've been able to keep a very steady clientele since we've opened. It's been the same people coming here every day, which I think is great.
So with being a shift lead manager then, so since you like have been here for 10 years, like what is your favorite shift? Like what day is your favorite place? I mean,
honestly,
the other place.
The other place. So I work Tuesday through Friday nights. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm by myself behind the bar. Friday, we have two bartenders Friday, Saturday. So Friday, I'm done first. But honestly, I think Wednesday night is my favorite night. We play trivia here every Wednesday. So it's just fun. The staff gets into it. Everyone we were kind of nervous when we started it because we just didn't know how it was going to go. But people really get into it. People around here take their trivia very seriously.
Yeah,
really
I'm banned
do.
from trivia.
Why?
You cheated.
I did not cheat.
You and your friend cheated.
I did not
Jaydns,
cheat.
you don't take
I
it
straight
seriously.
up did not cheat.
Okay,
I
fine.
was sitting at the bar
His
working
teammate
on my
cheated.
computer.
And you're guilty by association. Your teammate cheated.
I did not cheat.
You did.
I
He
didn't. I didn't.
But no, Wednesdays I think are by far my favorite. I feel like Wednesdays is my busiest night by myself. I definitely have gotten so busy to the point that I'm like sweating, blacking out, want to cry, but it's always worth it in the end. And like that Wednesday's a night where we have the same 15 teams that come in, so you really just get to know people, and you're kind of guaranteed. Wednesday's just a night you're guaranteed to make money because people are going to come in.
Yeah,
so,
trivia is always a hit or miss
but
too.
we love
especially.
it. So we like that. We were kind of nervous starting out, but I think we've been doing it for close to 2 years now, and it's been great. So
Good.
I also really enjoy Fridays because I feel like the Friday first cut shift is probably like the best bar shift there is, because you come in, work for 4 or 5 hours, make a couple $100, and then you can just be home by 9 o'clock, which I also is nice.
yeah, you
It's
and
a
me
good
used
shift.
to work every Friday night, and then I got that shift stolen from me.
And then you left me.
I didn't get left. I got abandoned.
Okay. All right.
Do we
I-
want to talk about that?
I
one?
basically I
Yeah.
had mentioned that like I was thinking about bartending at another place, but I never said that I was ever gonna leave here.
Yeah.
And then one of the managers, who's actually not here anymore, but he just took it upon himself to like tell the GM that I just didn't want to work here anymore, and so I got taken off the schedule completely. And then I was like, the next week I came in, I was like, yo, what the fuck? And then basically I like was like, okay, I'll give up my Fridays because I normally like am doing shows or something like that, so I was constantly getting Fridays covered.
By me, always.
But it didn't. Yeah, you're always
I'm
the
not
first
the one that I was first cut always. I
No,
didn't
yeah.
ever. I'm not the one that took your closing
No.
shift. It wasn't me.
And
I
it
was
got
already here.
taken like that too. It got taken so quickly because it was just it's a good shift.
Yeah, I feel like, the bar shifts, I don't really, I work 4 nights a week, so when I work. I really don't give up a lot of shifts unless I'm out of town, but I feel the bar shifts here are pretty valuable.
Absolutely.
People want to bartend, and people want to pick up bar shifts and make money, so.
They definitely do. That's like, I don't know. I've always, because like I started here as a host. And
Oh
then
my God, you did! I forgot you were a host.
I was a host. I was 19. I was working with a
Oh
bunch
my
of like
gosh.
14
I
and
remember
15-year-olds, and I remember being like, what
Good
am I
times.
fucking doing with my life? And I was a host for like a month, and then I started serving, and then I probably served for like 3 or 4 years until I started bartending.
Which I recommended you for.
You did.
That was me.
You and the other previous manager that was here before.
All the servers used to play this. I want to tell this really fun joke on Jaydns. So on our old, you can do it on probably any system, but on the older system, you didn't have to have.
Oh my God, I forgot about
So
this.
the servers would go on sign on to their numbers, click on their tables, but on our old system, you did not have to have manager approval to transfer tables. So the servers used to play
steal
this
all my
would
tables.
all go on and just start transferring all of Jaydns' tables to different. So he would log on and just be losing his shit, freaking out. It was so funny. I wish we could still do that.
You could, but now I'm a
I could do
manager,
it.
so I
Yeah.
can just take it back.
It was just,
But
that's
I
probably one
remember-
of my favorite things that went on for like months straight. Just one time a shift, all the servers would get together and steal all of
It was
Jaydns'
always when I was
tables.
so busy too. I'm like running around with my head
best
cut
time
off.
to do it.
and then I'd be like, fuck, and I'd get to the computer, and then I'd be like,
everything would just be gone.
Where's my table?
Completely white.
I remember being like so frustrated and just like I didn't know what to do.
It was hilarious.
It's funny now,
But I
at
love
the time,
that like you were so fucking stressed, but they were like, it's not that serious.
It's not. And I'm just watching from the bar, just watching the whole thing play out, and it was, oh God, it was funny.
Oh, I would have laughed. I wouldn't have been able to hold it in.
And then-
I would have been like, I'm sorry.
Like if I were you, I would have been like pissed and probably would have stared crying.
I was on the verge.
Yeah.
I was like, guys, stop. No, one of my favorite memories though. So then this was like, I was probably serving for only like a year or two at that point, and maybe like within my first 3 years of serving. But then then I got more comfortable, more used to that system and whatnot. And then there was another server that came in, and we'll just call her, I don't know, we'll just call her Stephanie. But she was kind of like an older lady. She always drank wine at the bar.
And you chose
yeah, you know who I'm
Stephanie?
talking about. Yeah, her name. We'll just call her Stephanie. But she. So then I remember me and another server. She hated this for no reason. We wouldn't even steal her tables, but she would be like putting in the orders, and she would be like where I was, like stressed out, like putting in the orders, and then we would just be like, Stephanie, just start singing her name. We would just be right next to her on both sides of her, just singing her name.
Just the dumbest shit.
She would just be like,
She was mad.
she's like, guys, fucking stop. Just like freak out. It was so funny. It was basically the same level of me freaking out because I couldn't concentrate and get my tables.
And it's funny too because the amount of times people did it to Jaden.
Oh, it was
each
relentless.
time he still did not know what was going on.
It's like, I don't know.
It kept happening, and he still would have. It's like it
I'd
just
have
happened
no
2 days
clue.
ago. You know what's happening,
oh, man.
It's like you don't even suspect.
but he's
that
just
in
so
there.
stressed out that he can't even
Like,
think about
in
it.
the corner laughing at
It's
you.
just my straight up innocence. I was just like, nobody would do that to me 2 days in a row.
They would.
Yeah, they would.
They would.
Yeah, they
And
would.
they did. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
That was when I was here full time too, because
Yeah.
I went to college part time and worked here full time when I was
Yep.
serving. Those are the days.
They really were.
So, since you guys are really close, and since you guys have, like, you know, you helped her film her wedding and things like that, and you like to go to bed at 9 o'clock on a Friday. Now,
Yep.
if someone were to call you at, like, let's say 1:30 in the morning, would you still answer your phone if someone needed you, if it was him or anyone else?
I feel like you would.
There is a select few people, but Jaden is someone that if he texted me or even my husband, because him and my husband are friends too, and said like 911 emergency, we would.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But
I'd
sometimes
have
people
to
are
go
too
bail
drunk.
him out of something.
We have this
But I
thing.
would.
We have this thing that we do where we just text each other our names in all caps.
And then we know it's like this
Yeah.
afternoon
Yeah.
when I
Yeah.
got all caps. I was like, something's going on.
Yeah, I basically, like what? It was like 10:30, something
Yep.
like that. I texted
I
you,
was at
Catherine,
Menards.
all caps. I was like, I need you.
Yeah.
First, I thought he was going to ask me to work his bar shift on Saturday, and I was going to tell him to fuck off for that. I'm like, I got stuff to do, but this
like,
I was
by the
going
way.
to be here for.
Yeah, well, you've been wanting to be on this. You'd been asking
Yeah, I
for a
said I
while.
wanted, but I didn't know I was only going to have 2 hours notice.
Oh, you didn't either.
I
So
know.
that should be our
It
next
was just
topic.
fine.
Is how flaky like bartenders and servers can be when you need them.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
and
sorry.
no, go for
I
it.
didn't mean to interrupt
So
you.
let's just talk about why we're here right now at the OP.
Okay. Well, the guests that we had planned called
We
out
had
last
two.
minute.
We had two different guests that we were supposed to be at two separate other bars today, and they both canceled on us.
Yeah. I don't know if you
That's
want
pretty
to
much the
say
whole
anymore.
story.
Okay, but
That's
but
the
I
story.
wanted to talk about calling out not sick.
Oh yeah.
Like, if you're trying to call out and get out of your shift, are you like, have you done that? What's your go-to excuse?
Like,
do you say that you're sick? Like,
Or
do you
have
have
you,
a
like-
family emergency?
Yeah. Or have you like ever? Because I remember back when I was serving too, there was a couple people there that would like say something that there was like a death or something like that, and then we would be like, was there though? Like,
Ooh,
did they
yeah.
See,
actually?
but that's
like,
one where you can't like really question it, because
Right.
if there was a death in the family, that's
you're
like
gonna
really
seem like-
sensitive, and
yeah.
you're the asshole for sure.
yeah.
So
I feel like I've been here as long as I have. I can remember the 2 times that I like last minute didn't like had to call out. The first time was a while. I mean, it's been like 5-6 years, and my youngest sister was in school at Iowa State at the time, and I got a phone call from her. She was in like a biology lab, microbiology, whatever it was, and she had passed out. I was the only family member because she, you know, everyone else was at work. I was getting ready to come here for a morning shift, and they called me. And so, of course, immediately it's my sister. So I called our GM, and he was like, "That's fine." It was. I think it was like a day that, because I used to always come in and serve Friday mornings in the summer on the patio, but he was like, "That's fine." So that was the one time, and I mean, I think it was like an hour and a half heads up. So I called out, went up to Ames. The only other time I ever called off a bar shift was probably, it's been like 3 or 4 years, but I had been sick like most of the week, and then my first shift of the week came around, and I was just like, I can't do it. Like, I was trying to fight it. Jaden wouldn't work for me, even though I worked for him every Friday night, like last minute, whatever. But he was like, "No, fuck you. Like, I'm not working for you."
I don't remember this.
But not a single person would work for me. So it ended up being one of our, and Thursdays hadn't been like crazy. I mean, Thursdays are busy enough, but they hadn't been like insanely busy. So our manager, like, I called him, and he was just like, "It's fine. Like, I can't really fault you." When, because like that, at that point, I called in one time in my entire life. So then my manager just said he would just bartend, and it was probably like the busiest Thursday night we had in months, and it was a disaster and just horrible. So
Jesus.
but I couldn't. I came back to work the next night. I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna do it. But those are the only 2 times. You call in all the time.
Well, when I started doing like my like freelance stuff, I like definitely became more of like, because I was like, I always had the plan of like weaning out of working here basically, or bartending in general, and then it got to a point where it's like, I love it too much, I don't want to leave it. But there was a hot minute. It was probably the last like 3 or 4 years at least, where like I had my Friday shifts, and I would almost always have to give them up because it was like a last minute call.
Yep.
I would have to do that, and then I'd have to find somebody, and then worst case scenario, I mean, I'd just have to like cancel on the gig and then just come here and bartend. But that did happen a lot, and I think that's also partially why I was like okay with giving up Fridays, because I was doing that a lot, which is unfair to the business. But I still wish I had my Fridays.
Me too. I will say my biggest pet peeve when people do call in, because surprisingly, this happens all the time. People will call in, say they're sick, whatever, and then they'll show up here that night and sit at the bar and drink.
Oh, that's wild.
Like, I thought you were
That
sick.
happens all the time.
Seriously?
All the
It's
time.
It's wild.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
It does happen sometimes, and every time they walk in, I will tell like Riley, I don't even want to serve them. Like, I don't want to serve them. I'm mad because they were supposed to be
I
sick.
would be pissed.
Yeah.
Supposed to be sick, or they'll and like, I don't know. I just feel like there are so many other places you can go and drink if you're gonna call in to work like last minute or whatever it is. Like, go down the road, go a block away, but like, don't come to the job that you called into and sit at the bar and drink.
No,
I always
that's
think about
actually
that.
crazy.
It's strange.
I always
to
think
me.
about that too. Like, if I were to call in and go to a place, I would always
You have to go far away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, because I was supposed to work yesterday at the state fair, and this is like kind of tricky though too. Like, when you are also not only like you work at somewhere else and you're trying to work and do something else. I'm also a manager for the place that I work for.
Okay.
So like, if I get an emergency phone call, I'm going to be there to help take care of whomever has that emergency. Well, one of my very good friends and coworker, she called me at 1:30 in the morning, and I don't have her number saved regardless. I answered it, and like, that's the thing, like with us being bartenders, we're always awake at that time no matter what. Like, if you call me, I'm obviously going to answer your phone call. So like, if you know your friend is a bartender, they're definitely going to answer their phone no matter what. So I answered, and she told me that her house was on fire, got caught on fire. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh.
Was it actually?
No, it definitely was, which I had to
Okay.
like ask that several times because I got
Yeah.
woken up by that phone call, but I felt like so horrible
Yeah.
because, you know, like it's just, you don't ever think that that's going to happen to you
Right.
until it happens to
Yeah.
you.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, like I will call in to the state fair. I'm really sorry. Like you let me know. I mean, like this is an emergency. If you don't want to go into work, I completely understand because you
Yeah.
have a lot going on. And they're like, no, I want to work to get things off my mind and things like that. But I wanted to give her that option.
Right.
So I just called and told the owners of the place I was working at the state fair. I was like, hey, I have a family emergency. And I'm not able to make it, and that's the reason why. Because I wanted to, like, if she didn't want to come in, I wanted to be there for her and be available for her. And that's kind of like the downfall of being a manager a little bit, is like when you aren't working that day at that specific place, but you're still the manager, you still have to play that role, that very important role. So I did have to call in this week. I was looking very forward to working at the state fair. So yeah.
I'm just laughing about that because I was there.
You're at the state fair?
No, I was at Tonic.
Yesterday?
Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah.
On Saturday?
Oh.
No. I was talking about Tuesday, how I had to call in at the state fair. Are you talking about Saturday and how
yeah.
I had to like finagle my way out of getting there at the time I was supposed to be at? Yes.
So basically, I went in to film for Tonic on Saturday, and I get there. There's only 2 bartenders. There's dishes everywhere. There's all this shit, and they're just like running around, and it was fine. It really wasn't that busy, but they were running around. I was like, "Isn't Anna supposed to be here?" And you were texting me, and you were like, "It's coming out both ends."
So I don't normally eat fried food.
Yeah.
And it's the state fair this week with like the amazing Iowa State Fair. You know what I mean? So we went out. All of us went out. The Tonic crew, we all went out because Kyle lets us have the first Friday Eastsiders night off to go to the fair, which is so nice. He pays for our tickets, buys us a round of drinks. It's super awesome. I was highly hungover.
Oh my gosh.
But like it wasn't just about the drinks, it was about the food. Like I ate a pork chop that was probably sitting out all day.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it smelled like wet dog, and I couldn't, like, it was just horrible. I felt like I was going to get sick all night. And then I ended up getting sick in the morning, and I, like, texted the girls, and I was like, hey, like, I'm not going to be able to come in this morning. I'm literally making out with my toilet bowl right now as we're speaking. So I was getting sick in the morning, and then it was one of my coworkers' birthday, so I think she was a little upset because she thought she was going to have to work my entire shift, but that wasn't the case. I just needed someone to just be there if they got busier, because I was not going to make it. I was dying.
So you did go in?
I did go in at 1.
But I had to help behind the bar for a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You were behind the bar, Tonic.
Really?
Damn it! Why wasn't I
How
there?
was that?
No, he
I've
wasn't.
always wanted to do that.
I was back there for maybe a total of 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Like
Did
it
you
was
do dishes? I used to do that.
All I did was just help with dishes.
When I like so desperately wanted to be a bartender, but no one would hire me because I didn't have experience, I would sit at bars. I'd be fucking drunk, but I'd be like, I see you have a lot of dishes there. Can I do your dishes? I'll just bar back for you.
That's
Sorry,
like
anyways.
No, but that's the look. Like, have you ever like looked at someone that you know that's sitting at your bar and you're like, hey, I need you.
Well,
I need your help right now.
I've always been like told that's if you do not work here, you do not come behind the bar.
Yeah.
So like I've never asked for help. Like I've not I've not let like.
Well, because
I'll
say so when I was just sitting there and I could just see them running around at Tonic, and I was like, do you guys like want help?
Yeah.
And like obviously I wouldn't do that in any other place,
Right.
but like
Yeah,
I know
no, that makes sense
I know
for you.
the owners,
Yeah.
so like, and they
One of the
loved
owners
me,
was there.
and she was, and so basically I was just all I did was dishes, and then I was doing dishes, and then one of the owners comes up and she's like, you're behind the bar, and I'm like,
Sure am.
oh fuck. I'm like, I'm about to get yelled at. I was like, I'm just helping with dishes, I swear to God. It was just like, they just asked me like, I'm not on the clock.
I would want to be like, I didn't see you helping.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and then she like kicked me off basically that dish area, and then I just went down to the other dish area and just finished the dishes over there. And, like, so I did feel like I was like, I hope I didn't get anybody in trouble, but all I did was dishes. I didn't serve any
is what
drinks.
it
or
is.
But I just
anything.
want to say also, as a bartender, if you don't have a bar back on to like do
Yeah.
your dishes, like the
Oh,
dishes is what I'm stressing about because
Yeah.
I don't want to run
Same.
out of dishes
Right.
and I don't want them to pile up. So that's like a huge relief and a huge
Yeah.
help.
And
Yep.
I was like, I was literally back there for maybe 5 minutes. So it wasn't like
You
I was
helped,
serving drinks or
Well,
anything
some of
like
us
that.
were like hurting from the night before.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And then even the owner came up and was like, we all went to the fair last night,
Yeah.
and she was like, well, I'm good. And I was like, yeah, I'm good too.
When
So-
when my now husband and I first started dating, and he would come in here sometimes when I was working, and I would just be so busy I can't even see straight. And it's like you have managers here, but you can't even find them. And our GM, she's all over the place. She's a great GM, great worker. I respect the hell out of her. But
constantly
sometimes like
moving.
she's just so tiny you just can't even see where she's
Yeah.
at. But I would tell my husband, and this is like we had just started dating. I'm like, go get me ice. He knows how to change a keg. Go change a keg. Go to the back. And he's like, and I'm like, no, trust me. No one's even going to see you back there because we are so busy that if they see you back there, they're not even going to like think twice about it. Because if
Right.
you can't find someone, it's like you find someone sitting at the bar. I've been here plenty of times on weekends, like when I can tell the bartenders are busy and I'm like, what do you want me to do? Do you need bottles? Do you need a keg change? Do you need ice? Like, I think that's just kind of something cool about our group of bartenders too, that it's like, even if we're here for leisure or play, it's like we're always just ready to
Yeah.
We're just
We
a
can
team.
always help out.
Yeah, we're just
Yeah.
a team. It's so nice
time,
because we
yeah.
wouldn't want someone to struggle, and then like
No.
if they see us struggling, we want them to think
Yep.
like the automatic thing.
Oh, yeah.
But like that's like I think that's in the service industry world where we're like, oh, they need that because like even if
Yeah.
I don't work there, I normally like ask them if like, hey, do you need help? Kind of like how
Yeah.
Haley was like, oh, I used to hang out at bars and ask them if they needed me to do their dishes. I mean, I don't know. It's just our instinct because
Yeah.
we know we've been there, we've
Yeah,
done that.
100%.
We were wishing that we could find our GM and we
Yeah.
can't find them. Then we
Yep.
have that random person sitting
Yep.
right there. So
Right.
that's
Yeah.
always nice.
Yeah.
My regulars are really good for that though too. Like they like have we have IT guys. You ever have like an IT regular or anything like that? If your Wi-Fi
yeah.
goes out, something like that.
Oh, well, not for that, but we have a group of IT guys that come in here.
we
pretty
do. If we
regularly.
needed them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't know shit about that. If the internet goes out, I'm like, we're screwed. We can't. We gotta close. We can't do anything.
So like a lot of our regulars, they're either IT guys or
Yeah.
construction
But you
workers.
have-
They can build us stuff, and they just
You have them like fix stuff like while like you're on the clock and they're like in drinking and stuff.
yeah. Sometimes they look at me and like the Wi-Fi's not working, and I was like, okay, and they're like, oh, I can go back there and fix it. I'm like,
Really?
"Okay."
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
They did, like I don't have to ask them. They just ask me if I need help, and they go back there and they
Yeah.
help.
I was gonna say I don't think I've ever had regulars. I mean, other than like your husband, but like, I mean, I've had him like grab ice and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But like
he
otherwise,
knows.
it's always like somebody, or I'll ask a server or something. I've never like asked one of the regulars that are like
No.
sitting down watching TV, I guess, to like go get ice.
We definitely have.
I do have them help me take out kegs though.
Yep. Regulars will help us take out kegs. We do, like on like football Sundays, whatever it is, because we do get a lot of people that will like come ask us to change TV. So we've just gotten to a point where we just bring the iPad. We have regulars that know how to run it. So if they can sit there and we can be like, hey, put this game on that channel, and they just do it. It's just one less thing instead of having to come all the way out the bar and come
Yeah.
up to the DJ booth, because the iPad, I mean, it's supposed to stay up there, but sometimes it just
It doesn't work right there.
People don't look for the manager on duty. They
Yeah.
ask us behind the bar
Yeah.
to change TVs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we do have I don't ever really work Sundays, but there's usually a guy sitting at the bar, and he just kind of has it there because he knows how to
Yeah.
run everything, which
Well,
just
and
makes
then-
it easier.
I was gonna say too, we also only have one entrance into our bar because we have a
Yes.
circular bar. So like most bars that are like a line, like against
Yeah.
the wall or whatever,
Yeah.
you have the two exits. But
We have
like
the
we just
one.
have the one that you can go in and it's on the far end.
Yeah.
So like you have to go
Which-
all the way around.
We have like another well on the far side without the opening. And
Yeah.
I've been saying for years, we just need to get it out. Just move it and make another entrance. It would make everyone's life so much easier.
It would. It really would.
We never use it. I think it leaks, or I don't know what it is. But we do not use that side. So I think we just need a chainsaw, and we need to get it out.
Chainsaw it out. Petition to chainsaw the OP bar.
Well, no one sits there because there's like a grate on it, so no one sits there either. So it just kind of hangs out there.
It really does. And even when. Like, I remember even when I first started working here, I don't think that side of the bar was ever used. Rarely. I can think of like one bartender that I remember using it, but it was never like you were stationed over there or anything like that. You would like make drinks on the one side and then bring them over to that side. Then we do have a ticket machine over there too, but I don't even know if it works. Yeah.
I don't think they ever.
Nothing on that side does not work, so we're just going to take it out.
Yeah, it just needs to be
there for show.
Yeah,
that's it.
Pretty much.
We put the empty beer boxes in it. That's all we use it for. Storage.
I think my favorite thing working at a restaurant right now, since I'm now getting back in working at a restaurant, is our cooks and how they make us random food, kind of like how we had your like the
like
tacos.
This whole plate of food.
Yeah,
that we
the
have
whole
over
like
here.
the tacos, the rice, and everything. That was so good.
It's literally my favorite thing. They make pupusas and
oh my God.
Whatever that is.
On night. Whatever that is.
So good.
They're good.
It's all so good.
Our cooks, I love our back of house staff. They are just the best people in the world.
They really
we love them. They're so great to us.
It's a very close. I say they work very closely with the front of house. Whereas like typically they're separated, and then there's like an expo that'll like be the mediator in between the front of house and back of house. But like they all work very well with us. They, even if there's like mess ups, they'll still like but they do this one thing that it's like, not to call them out or anything, but they'll be like, oh, it's out, and it's like, no, it's fucking not. It's like we don't actually yell at them like that, but like,
never.
But there are plenty of times where it's like, dude, I've been in this window this whole time, I've ran all the food out, there's no way it went out without me seeing it. And then they're like and then they have to make it again, but it's really the first time they're making it because they just forgot or whatever it is. But that's the only complaint that I think I would have, which isn't even really that big of a complaint.
I love that. I love how they're messing with you because they know they fucked up and they're trying to convince you that they
you
didn't
could
fuck
obviously prove that.
Yeah.
Someone has their food or not.
Well, and I think it's more of just a thing is like they don't want to be in trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's
which
like,
we would never be mad at.
No, it's just more like we just
I
need.
already did it.
I just need this hamburger, dude.
Yeah. I need it. That's all I want.
I don't like just having the random food though too. Like, you know how you're here and you eat the food all the time because you're here like 4 days out of the week, let's say.
Yeah.
And you don't want to bring home food or anything like that, or food from home, and then they just have all the goodness. They just make all that good food here.
They really do.
And you mentioned coming here for pizza at 1 a.m. Is the kitchen open all night?
No.
Or you just get special treatment?
No.
Jaydn never gets special treatment.
I really.
It just doesn't happen for him.
Except this is like the specialist treatment.
This was
is
great.
getting
that
the
was
whole thing. Like I've never
nice.
had that.
That was nice. Thank you.
They I mean sometimes like they'll like if it's super late and they're like haven't completely shut down the kitchen yet and they still have like the ovens going, they'll like maybe make a pizza or something if I like forgot to order something. But
they're like everyone else, when they're done and they want to have their Bud Lights and
their
go
shifty
home.
beer.
Yep, they want to go home.
They I will say there's they like and our kitchen isn't open that late. I think our kitchen usually closes around 10.
Monday, what is it? Sunday through Thursday, we go to like at 9 o'clock, 9:15. It kind of depends on the night how busy it is. We just go to a more limited menu so they can shut down like the fryer, the grill.
Yeah. They shut down like half the kitchen basically.
Yeah, but kitchen closes at 10 Sunday through Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday it's open until 11. So just an hour later.
Yeah, but we have tried to keep the kitchen open later before.
We just don't get enough, especially during the week. There's just not enough foot traffic. I
remember when I was serving, it was like right after we had like a team meeting or whatever with everybody in the restaurant, and it had just changed and I had to work that night of it. And I just remember I had to sit here until like 2 a.m. And I was like, I just remember being so fucking mad because I was like, why am I sitting here? Like, what? Like, I literally sat, I think, at the bar on my phone for like a good 2 hours.
Oh, because you thought we were still open till 2.
Because, well, no, because I had to stay here. They were making me stay here until 2 because I was the closing server. So, like, and I think that happened that day, and I was the only one that had to experience it. And then the next day, they were like, yeah, we're not doing that anymore.
Oh, my God.
That was pretty short-lived.
It was very short. It literally lasted a day.
I had to do
2
that
or
one
3.
time, though. I had to do that one time.
Yeah. As a server until 2 a.m., like...
That's ridiculous. There's a bartender for that. Go
Yeah.
sit at the fucking bar, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I remember...
I'm
sure
telling
there's
you.
not that many people in the bar at that point. Like,
okay.
the bartender can
No.
run food.
I have a story for you, and I am
Tell
so
me.
happy I get to tell you this because you're going to relate to this so much. Okay, so I worked at a restaurant here in Waukee. It was really great, grand, wonderful, right? So, like, everyone likes to say how they know the owners, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this guy was super drunk, and he kept asking me for food, but the kitchen was closed. I had no cooks, no nothing. He was getting upset because I was like, no, hey, the kitchen's closed. I'm sorry. Like, I'll get you guys some water. You can't order any food. Well, he complained to one of the owners, and he was so upset that he came back in, got all of his stuff for free, and guess what he did when the kitchen was fucking closed? Asked for food.
Oh. I thought it was going to be something different.
No, he asked. He got his whole fucking tab paid for because he complained about how he couldn't get food after the kitchen was closed, and yet took it upon himself. I asked him several times if he wanted anything. No, right when the kitchen closed, he goes, I want food.
Actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He did it on purpose.
I have...
Really?
Okay, so on this topic, though, of, like, people complaining or, like, saying they're like, I'm never coming back in, and then they're in the next day.
They usually come back.
Okay, so...
They always come back.
So I have 2 stories. One that happened recently, like, this last week, and then
boy.
one that happened, like, a while ago. And basically, the guy... I mean, he was just super picky, needed everything, and I was super busy, and I got him everything he needed, but it just took a little while or whatever. And on his note, which looked like a serial killer wrote it, basically, he was like, service was absolutely terrible, probably won't ever come back in. Literally came in the next day, and who was fucking serving him again? Me. And I was like, I didn't think you were going to come back in.
This was the recent one?
No, this was like a year ago, maybe, probably now.
Oh, the note.
Yeah.
What did that say, though? It was so funny.
It was literally like, it looked like a serial killer wrote it.
Worst server ever.
No, that lady said that to my face.
No, there's another one.
There's multiple.
There's multiple.
I mean,
You hear that?
Jaden, why are people so mean
Oh
to
my
you?
God. I remember that.
So that one,
Worst server
I
ever.
forgot about that one. She was like,
I'm glad I brought it up.
I was serving at that time.
Oh my
The
God.
this patio was completely packed.
Yeah, our
and
patio was
I think they waited maybe 10 or 15 minutes. She came up to get their check or whatever. She came up to the bar, asked for the check from you, and then you told me to get her check. I literally print off the check, walk up to her, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. She signs it, hands me back the check, and just says, worst service ever to my face. And I was like,
funny.
I'm so sorry.
For the longest time, we all introduced, this is our friend Jaden. He's the worst server ever.
And then, okay, so then what happened recently, this was this last week. This guy, we really weren't that busy, but he came in early to get his pizza or whatever. I think it maybe took like 10 extra minutes. And so I hand him the pizza. I'm like, here you go. Have a good day. He's like, what time is it right now? And I'm like, what? And he's like, what time is it? And I literally look at my phone. I'm like, oh, it's like 5:38. And he's like, well, my pizza was supposed to be done 10 minutes ago. And I was like, oh, I'm really sorry about that. Like, you know, we're just a little
busy.
we're just a little bit behind. And he's like, well, you guys are super busy in here, right? You guys are swamped, right? And I like look around and we're not. And and I just look around and I just look him dead in the eyes. I'm like, yep. And then he's like, you're not swamped. And I was like, what do you want me to say?
Oh
How is that on you?
And then he turns around, he's like, well, I'm not coming back here. And I was like, all right. And then literally was like, how's it going, guys? Like, there's people right behind him. I was like, how's it going, guys? Can I get you a seat? And then I was just like,
At that point, what do you do?
Dude, like, what am I supposed to do? I was like,
it's a yep for me.
It's just,
yep.
I just stared at him, paused, and was like, yep, we're swamped. and then I thought he was going to blow a gasket, dude. He was like, you guys are swamped. I was like, what do you want me to say, dude? It took 10 extra minutes. Like, freaking calm down.
Do you want your pizza to be dough or do you want it to be cooked? Which one is it? And didn't he come in earlier too?
He was there early, so he was probably waiting a total of like 15 minutes, which I get it. Like, but it's also, dude, it's fucking 15 minutes.
Well,
like,
do they think it's just for funsies that you're just holding it back there? Or like
we're just trying to make you late for whatever. I'm like, dude, and it was
just
one
to
pizza.
piss you off.
It was one pizza, and it was like, dude, we've got other orders, and it was just and it was a to-go order too. So I was just like, what the fuck?
I would have said like, we have a ton of to-go orders. Sorry,
we're so busy right now, dude. And I like, I wasn't saying it to piss him off, but he was clearly. I could have said no, we're not busy, and he still would have been just as mad.
Yeah.
So like,
I don't know, Kat. I want to know your worst like story that you have here of like serving someone. What is your worst story of serving someone?
Can I tell the?
Which one?
Tell it.
The one we talked about. Go for it, because we're not going to be on the Patreon.
Can I tell them?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hang on. 2 seconds. You have to check us out on our Patreon.
Yeah, it's only $5 a month.
It's only $5 a month.
It's exclusive content. It's all of our spicy, uncensored stories. So
and
if you want to
sometimes
hear,
it's not about bartending. It's a little bit of
it's
bartending.
not.
It's always
mostly not.
It's about other things. No.
Usually it's about the crazy things that we can't talk about legally.
Legally.
But yeah, tell the story, and we'll just keep it on here, and that'll just lead into our Patreon.
The worst thing I think that has ever, we've had some weird shit happen here, man. For being like a bar restaurant family.
Yeah.
I mean, we have kids that come here, families like.
It's a family restaurant.
It is,
yeah.
100%.
Family sports
I
bar.
feel like it's the sports bar.
Yes.
Yo.
Yeah, it is.
I started a sports bar and some.
Whatever it is. We had, and this, I don't even know how long ago this was. 6 years ago,
Probably,
7.
yeah.
This was when it was, I remember specifically, it was on a Wednesday night. I was closing the bar. Our GM that is here now was, I think she was an assistant manager at that point here. But we had this couple come in later in the evening, and they clearly had been drinking. As soon as I saw them walk in, I was like, yep, I am not serving them. Like, this is just weird. They went into the men's restroom and started doing things that you shouldn't be doing in a men's restroom at a sports bar. And so
they went into the same restroom. Let's just put it that way.
And so
they were doing the badonkadonk.
Yeah. And so our GM went in and she was like, hi guys, like, can you leave and not do this in here? Like, just go. Like, what are you doing? So she asked them to leave the bar, leave the building. Like, you guys are done here, go. So he came up to the bar and proceeded to ask me, him and his lady friend, for a drink. And I was like, no, like, you guys are done. You need to
Didn't you just get your drink in the
We
bathroom?
don't kick a lot of people. We don't kick a lot of people out of here. So to get kicked out of the OP, like, good for you. But so I told him no, that I was never going to serve them. So they walked out, they're outside waiting for their Uber. He comes back in, and like the car is here. I can see her getting in the car. He comes back in and asked me to use the restroom, and I said no again. I was like, you are out of this building. You are not supposed to be in this building. This grown ass man sat on a bar stool and shit his pants. He just sat there and shit. I don't even know.
Because you wouldn't let him use the restroom, he just took it upon himself just to shit on the bar.
But the thing is, you're
you're
in jeans. Where do you think that's going? You're gonna have to go sit in your Uber in shit pants now. So he sat there and he told us that he told us flat out, like, yeah, I just shit myself. I'm like, congrats. Still get the fuck out. Like, what do you mean?
Congrats.
What?
So he waddles out the bar with shit in his pants.
Oh my God.
And so we took the bar stool, just threw it in the dumpster. We're like, we're not even doing anything with this. But the sad thing is, like, that was the only shit, but we've had people just sitting at the bar and piss themselves. Like, it's just, sometimes it just, And every time I'm like, guys, it's 6 o'clock and it's Tuesday. And you're at the
Oh
OP.
my
Like,
God.
what are you doing? We had a string here it was pretty, not like
Now that you're
horrible.
talking about it now, you're probably going to get something like that tonight.
We had a period here though too where it was like once a week we were getting people getting in fist fights.
Oh yeah.
my God.
At the bar, like,
Yeah.
and it's like, guys, it's not that serious. Like, what are you
No.
even talking about? There was one time that, and like that, our GM, she's coming over, like yelling
And
at
she's, like,
them
yay
with her mom
big.
voice, and of
Like-
course, I come over and I'm like, there was one time we had two guys fighting, and I had this little like broom thing behind the bar, and they just wouldn't stop. So I grabbed it and just started hitting them with it. I'm like, I cannot do this again. It's Thursday night. It's 7 o'clock. Like, relax.
Yeah.
But it's just like the one fight, it was two guys, they were arguing about where one of their friends lived, and one of them just took a swing. I'm like, is this real? But no, that was the shit pants is by far the
That's
most
crazy.
just unreal thing that has ever happened to me. I still like telling the story. I'm like, that actually happened. Like, that really happened. Like, a man in like his mid to late 40s just sat at the bar and shit
How
himself.
can you?
Oh my
how
God.
can you sit down on like where does it go?
Ask him, but he did
Oh my
it. He did it.
God. To prove what point? And then
No.
what? Like, bro,
I
that's
showed
your
you.
problem. That is
Yeah.
your problem now. Like, you're going to have to deal with that. You're going to have to
I
go
know,
tell
and
this
that's-
girl in this Uber that you just
That
shit
you were
your
just
pants.
trying to get it on with in the bathroom. By the way, I shit my pants, so don't know if we can continue.
I
but
showed them.
I don't know how the Uber even let him in the car.
I don't know.
honestly.
Oh my
I just know we
God.
got him out the door, and I think it was like an hour before closing time, and our GM was like, "We're done," and locked the door. Like, that was the end of our night.
Oh, yeah.
But at that point, where do you really go from there?
Oh, yeah.
Like, that needs
Yeah.
someone shitting their pants. Just that has to be the end.
Yeah.
But
Do we have more topics?
No, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I
It's
feel like
2:49.
we're good.
Okay, wait. So we got about 10 minutes. You have to leave.
Okay.
You have to walk out of here at 3, right?
ish, yeah.
Okay. Were you here that one time when the dude got tased? Because we've told that story before. Wasn't
So
that you?
That was me bartending that night.
Okay. Will you tell that story and then we'll end on that?
Okay. So I had come in, and the girl that was bartending before me, I got here and they had each had, because it was two guys, the one guy was drinking Crown and Diets, and then the other guy was drinking his Tito soda. He still comes in quite a bit, but they had each had like 4 drinks, and they had each had 6 shots of Fireball. And the tab was started at 2 o'clock, and I came in at like 4:30. So I'm just at the whole time I'm like, I just tried to stay away from it because that's a lot. And also, can you just close them out and make them go home, because I don't want to deal with that. But so I kind of just tried to.
Pulled off one of my lashes.
This was on a. I remember it was on a Tuesday, and
It's always on Tuesdays.
it's always on Tuesdays. What the hell is it?
Tuesdays at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
But so he sat there, and if I can tell people are getting like drunk to the point they need to be cut off, sometimes instead of just having the argument, I will like sometimes take the bottle and just put like my finger over it, so it looks like I'm pouring, but then I'll just put pop or whatever their mixer is, and that's what they get. So then it's like there's no argument. They think they're having a drink, but in reality they're sobering up.
Yeah.
That's just something that I've just learned, that sometimes it's better not to even have an argument.
Right.
But
Sometimes I put it in people's straw.
yeah,
Just a little bit in their straw, so then when
Yeah.
they go to drink their drink, they just get a
a
big.
little taste of
Yeah.
it. Yeah. And
That's a good
so
pour
I
people
did
tip.
one
Yeah.
of those things with him, and at that point he was falling asleep at the bar. So our manager at the time came over and was like hitting the table like, hey buddy, like, you can't sleep, if you can't keep your head up, you can't be here, like.
Yeah.
And he started just really being a dick, and then he called me the C word, which really pissed me off. And
Which
then I just started yelling. I think the whole restaurant turned around and looked, because I'm screaming.
And if
We
anybody
had-
knows you, they know not to call you a name, because you
No.
you will lash out on
And
them.
so I absolutely lost my shit. I will say though, again, we had a lot of regulars sitting at the bar that immediately is like, they were up around the bar ready to take a swing, throw a punch for me if I needed them to, because this guy was just, I mean, our manager had him like pinned against the wall at one point while we
Yeah.
were waiting for because then our other manager was like filming it, and I was like, dude, call the cops.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need this. Just call the cops. Like, we need this man out of here. He's trying to fight back. He tried to, because then I'm around the corner and our one manager is trying to hold me back, because I'm like, no. And so the cops finally got there, and they're holding him down and whatever, and they finally got him out the front door, and he was still resisting. So again, it's like we haven't even made it through happy hour. Our happy hour ends at 6, and this man is getting tased in the parking lot. He pissed and shit his pants. And we have like families walking in. I felt so bad.
It was like right in the front doors too.
I felt horrible because we had like this group of booths in the back. So like I had a couple of families back there that are just trying to enjoy their meal. So I talked to the one manager and I was like, I'm giving them like a friends and family discount. I'm giving, like, they just had to witness that. Their kids had to witness that. And that is horrible.
Yeah.
It's a horrible look. It's not our fault.
No.
But it's not a good look.
No.
So we did that. I think I gave everyone at the bar either a free drink or a shot because
that was insane.
That's the worst issue. That was a horrible issue.
And he got arrested.
He got arrested. He had a trespassing order put on him. Because then I remember him and his wife, and because they have like 4 kids, and they moved out of state. And he came back like 2 years later, and I was like, get out! Like, you still don't get to be in here, my guy.
Yeah, because I feel like he
get
did
to come here.
I feel like even shortly after that, he tried to come back in.
Yep,
and
we were like, no, you are. I think there's like 7 people on the permanent ban list, and again, you got to try pretty hard to be permanently banned from this establishment. He's on it. Yeah, he tried to come back, and I was like, no, that was serious.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, he was
your
arrested
pants in the parking
here.
lot. You were arrested in our, like, that was very unfortunate for that to happen, but
yeah,
I think they were, I don't know if they were golfing that day, what it was, but they were just getting wild on a Tuesday, and it just
I do vaguely remember there being something about them golfing or something, but wasn't he like in like a suit or something like that?
Yeah, because now I'm
day?
thinking we have a picture of him, and because he was like sitting at the bar, and I feel he might have been in a suit. Maybe his friend was golfing, but then his friend even just like left him there.
Yeah.
So then the next couple of days he came back in. He was like, I'm really sorry about that. I'm like, thanks. Like,
thanks for doing nothing.
Okay.
To help.
Thanks for doing nothing. Just leaving your trash here with me. Thanks.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, I think we can wrap it up. Thank you, Catherine.
Thanks for having me, guys.
For being here. Thanks for being here on such short notice.
Yeah,
Super awesome that you're here. I'm glad we got to do this.
That
We'll
was
have
so
to do this
great.
again another time.
It was meant to be this
Okay.
way.
It was supposed to be this way. All right. So
let's do it again with me and Riley.
Absolutely, we will. Okay, so wrap it up as we always do. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Patreon, YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, all of them. Snapchat now too. And yeah, I think that's it.
Also, if you want to be on the podcast, please direct message us because we're booking all the way out into October now, if not November.
Yeah.
So if you guys actually really want to be on the podcast, please let us know because we'd be more than happy to have you on it.
And don't flake out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Usually there's a good reason, but still. All right.
Is there?
We'll do. Let's. You guys say.
Oh yeah, our drinks are always empty when we go to do this.
Funny.
So for richer or for poor, thank you for watching Poor People.
Oh, yeah,
Woo. All right, we did it.
I'm starting to feel